Well, guys, we did it. We hit an all-time low. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the end of the regular season. My goodness, we are thrilled here over on the PHNX Sun Devil Show, guys. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by Senor Rubus. We have Captain Redbeard behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Of course, we're coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. That's right. We're having a party tonight because
Forgot what this music sounded like.
the regular season is over. Arizona State losing by 28 tonight to JT Toppin and the Texas Tech Red Raiders, 85-57. I mean, Eric, the only thing that you can possibly do at this moment in time, smile through the pain.
Yeah, it's a double meaning for me. People say podcasting is an easy game. It's not a dangerous game.
Yeah.
My right eye has been tweaking.
Yeah, you've been
for
struggling.
like the last 2 hours.
Hasn't
And
been good.
It's just been watering, and I've had to like flush it out a couple of times, and it was only the second worst thing to happen to me over the last couple of hours.
I mean, watching Bobby Ball will maybe take away.
They had an okay first half.
They had an okay first half, but I mean, this is having the same conversation on a different day at this point, right? Like,
should we just
how many times
pull up an old post game?
You could probably pull up a show at this point, and you'd be like, huh, well, that makes sense. Played one really good half, and then toward the end, well, they didn't have enough players. The other team had a guy who just went stupid, like a guy named JT Toppin, 25 points, 11 boards, 3 blocks, probably Big 12 player of the year. It just happened to be.
Are we ruling out Bashir Jihad Big 12 player of the year too early?
I never considered that. I never really did. You'll have to let me really think about that.
Seems
one.
like that one's on you.
I'll get back to that question maybe on Tuesday when we see them.
That's the Bashir Jihad legacy game.
Yeah, I mean, tonight was pretty much the Bashir Jihad legacy game, to be honest with you, right? Like you said, this team, they played well in the first half. They kept it close. Texas Tech hit a logo buzzer beater at the end of the first half. You obviously hate to have that. But ultimately, down 4-5 points maybe going into halftime? And then you start the second half. Texas Tech can't really buy a bucket at that point. And then they run away with it. You get really, really cold from 3, which that's a whole nother side of this game. You shot just absolutely horrendous from behind the arc. And then JT Toppin, you didn't really have the facilities to guard that guy.
You don't have the facilities to do a lot. Quite literally, you don't have the facilities. It's tough because even at the start of the second half, you played them close and you showed some fight, but let's see here. They don't have enough players. Adam Miller didn't play again. Jaden Quains didn't play again. Jaden Quains not on the bench.
Not on the bench. Something to keep in mind. I really don't think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I think it's the nail in the coffin. It's the nail in the coffin.
I mean, you don't know the whole story, but if you're connecting the dots, plus, it was senior night too for Adam Miller. Weird. I didn't see BJ Freeman out there. That was weird. I didn't see him chilling out. It's strange. I wonder what happened. No,
too early, maybe.
It's really unfortunate. And I kind of felt this after the U of A post game show where you and I just kind of got to a point where it was like, we are literally just saying the same things over and over. And I don't want it to be that way.
I really don't.
Nobody does.
But it feels like when this team, and we each pointed out a different time this season, right? Yours obviously being
the Idaho State game,
a little bit more humorous in a sense, right? But like,
I'm not joking.
I know you're not.
A joke. I'm not.
But when
joking.
you're looking at it, it's humorous, right?
Yes.
But for I think Captain Redbeard and I, like, genuinely, there was a moment in this season where it felt like, okay, you are in a, I don't know, like, for lack of better analogies here, this feels like a dog park, right? The Big 12's a dog park. You got some absolute units out there in the yard playing with toys, pissing on fire hydrants, doing all sorts of things, right? Sniffing each other's areas, doing all that stuff.
On.
You know, I just don't know how many dog things I could do.
Playing fetch.
You go to this dog park, right?
You're in
a new neighborhood,
pooping.
Right? Sure, pooping.
Yeah.
New neighborhood,
barking,
big dogs. We got Dobermans, we got Rottweilers, we
slobbering.
Got pit bulls.
Yes,
in Arizona State, right? In non-con, in another dog park, felt like, hey, maybe we can compete. Right? Maybe they're a boxer or something. I don't know. Border Collie. Sure. They are at that point in non-con like, okay, we can hang around. And then you get to a point where you play another team that's got a dog, like a Keyshawn Hall at UCF going for 41. You play at Texas Tech and JT Toppin gives you 41 the first time, then 25, 11, and 3 the next time.
Yeah.
This conference is full of dogs. Arizona State is a doodle out there in the Big 12.
Yeah, it's the classic Chrysler looks like a Phantom until a Phantom pulls up.
Yeah.
And the Chrysler looked like a Phantom in non-con. And, I look back at the Idaho State game that I say is when I knew this season was over. And then but then you look at what they did afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? And it's funny because I asked people in the show that you were joining me for the second half earlier this week because you're out of football availability. I asked everybody what their highest moment of the season was, and it was winning the Acrisure Classic on the Thanksgiving weekend where they beat New Mexico at 9 p.m. on Thanksgiving night. I remember watching that one in my bed, and then they played St. Mary's the next day. And they won, and those were really good wins. Really good wins. But in the back of my head, I always knew what was coming, and that was Arizona State basketball under Bobby Hurley, which is you're a dog until you're not. And then once you're not, you're gone. But, here's the thing, dude. I've stopped even approaching the games like that, 3 weeks ago. Maybe 2 weeks ago. Once the injuries and the suspensions and everything all started piling up, you can't even analyze this team like a basketball team.
No, because you're going through the same process, right? Again, and we're really breaking down how we're doing this here, but you sit back, you turn on this game, you're watching it start to finish. Normally we have the stat broadcasts up as we're watching it, going through every little point of this game. And it feels like, again, you are just substituting a different opposition on the other side of the court for Arizona State. You said it right off the top. They played a strong first half, and that's true. They did. They fight. I'll give them that every single night. Over the last 2-3 weeks, they have gone out there with a depleted roster against better opponents, and sometimes on the road, sometimes in front of maybe lackluster crowds at home because they're checked out at this point, and they're still giving it what they have. But at the end of the day, what they have just simply wasn't enough. Yeah. It doesn't matter. The whole story about, sometimes the heart of the dog is bigger than the size or whatever. Well, sometimes the size of the dog actually matters. And in this case, the heart just, it wasn't enough to get it done against some of these better teams in the conference.
And that's now, but the reality is they had the talent this season, right? They had it. And we said this, and I stand by this. They absolutely had the talent to be at least a middle of the pack Big 12 team.
Yeah, I agree.
At least
I agree.
To not be playing in that first round of the Big 12 tournament. Like Jonathan says, y'all have a lot of good players, just too many shooters that want theirs, and there's a weird mix of coaching and discipline. ASU showed they were a tourney team in non-conference. I think there was tournament talent on this team.
There was. We were saying it.
You go down the line, individual talent at the wazoo. Multiple 5-stars, a 4-star, good transfers that led decent lower-level college teams last year that were averaging nearly 20 points a game in some cases, and some over 20 points a game, and BJ Freeman. And that's why it's hard because right now it's, okay, they had good fight. What are you going to do? Throw your hands up. But they got to this place where these games mattered so much and they can't capitalize on them. And it's not just you stacked some wins earlier in the season and now you're injured. But now, hey, Jaden Quains is rehabbing to come back and make a run in the Big 12 tournament. No. Because guess what? This game did not matter.
No, not at all.
I mean, it was senior night, so it mattered for the seniors and you wish that there was a better result. for them tonight. You wish that Adam Miller could have played. You know, you hate to see a college career, and hopefully maybe he plays in the Big 12 tournament, but at this point you just don't know. And you hate to see a college career that's lasted that long and like this.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And I feel for these guys personally. And honestly, like I feel for Bobby Hurley too. Like I really feel bad that this is the situation, but
I do too.
I feel like Arizona State basketball dug their own grave. Not just on the men's side either. And we'll get to that at the end of the show.
Women's side.
But, you know, yes, the facilities are not great, and Graham Rossini has announced multi-year plan to renovate that. They need new NIL. Of course, the Netflix documentary fell through. I wonder why. Like it
wasn't Netflix.
Sorry, the documentary. My bad. Bobby would really be mad at me.
I know.
Out of all the things I've said, he'd be mad at me the most for saying that it was a Netflix documentary.
I'm just, Big J Journo over here.
You are Big J Journo over here. I'm just a talking head couch potato. That's just who I am.
Talking head couch
that's
potato.
According to Eddie Johnson.
What does that make you, Captain Redbeard?
I'm a captain.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
I mean, Red Panda.
That was a silly question.
And a panda. He's a zoo animal.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look, talk about zoo animals
this
again?
Team, I love conversation about zoo animals.
Well, guess what? This season's almost over. We're about to hit that mid-summer podcasting regimen.
This team won 9 games in non-conference. They finished with 13 wins in the regular season, which means they've won 4 games since 2025 started. We're almost midway through March.
And only one of those wins was like a good win. West Virginia.
Yeah. At the time, it was a good win. West Virginia's fallen off since then.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I know I mentioned this a few weeks ago on a post-game show. Like, I feel like where I went wrong in evaluating this team started in non-con when this team kept it really, really competitive against Gonzaga on the road, right? And you look at what Gonzaga's done the rest of the year, and it's been pretty lackluster, right? Like, you thought going on the road, tough environment against a team that was ranked in the top 10, top 7 team in the country at the time. You're like, okay, they showed something. They showed fight, and they did. But, I mean, in hindsight, Gonzaga wasn't very good. They were just competing on the road against another team that's, in all honesty, not a Power 4. Like, they're not in a Power 4 conference. I know they're a better team than that, but they're not in a Power 4 conference, right? Like,
yeah.
That's just what it comes down to.
You actually have me checking the record of Arizona State's non-con competition. Let's play a guessing game. Okay.
I won't look.
Because we don't have a lot to break down from this game specifically, to be honest. The Idaho State Bengals.
Yes. What about it?
What is their record right now?
Oh, God, this is the game we're playing.
Yeah.
Let's go 15 and 15?
15 and 14.
Wow,
that was good. That was good. Okay, Santa Clara. The Broncos.
Santa Clara 17 and 13?
20 and 11.
2011, better.
Yeah, I mean, 2011 is not bad, and, you beat Santa Clara. That's a good win. Gonzaga, you already said Gonzaga, so we'll skip Gonzaga. Grand Canyon University.
I haven't heard much about GCU this year.
They've been good.
Yeah. 20 and 10?
23 and 7.
23 and 7.
So
I mean, a tournament team probably.
That is a good win. They are probably a tournament team. St. Thomas, the Tommies.
Oh, my goodness. That game was on some... I don't think that was on a normal network, that game.
No.
The Tommies are a 11-win basketball team.
No. Dude, they're second in the Summit League. 23 and 9.
Wow.
Remember, that was a close game.
The Tommies.
That was a close game. Cal Poly, the Mustangs.
16-win club right there.
14 and 18,
okay.
So close. That's 7th in the Big West. I'm
yes,
painting
Cactus
a picture.
Johnny, he does.
Yes, he does. Yeah, Herb still coaches. New Mexico, the Lobos.
14 wins.
They've been really good.
Really good?
They're the best team in the Mountain West, and they lost all their good players. They've been really good. Patino is doing a fantastic job over there.
Patino's not at New Mexico.
Yeah, he is.
Is he? I don't think Rick Pitino is at New Mexico. Richie Pitino?
Yeah, his kid.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure.
You sure your eye's not tweaking? Patino's kid coaches at New Mexico?
Yeah, Richard Pitino, American basketball coach. Yeah, New Mexico men's basketball.
Wow.
Oh, wait. He
no relation?
Wait.
Interesting. You've gone down a rabbit hole. Hole.
Yeah. New Mexico's Richard Pitino. I'm just saying, like, they had some good wins, but some of the big wins that they had, those teams ended up not being that great.
That's, yeah.
So this team definitely showed promise before, but they've shown promise so many times.
Yeah, we've done this dance a million times, and it's not just this season, right? They show promise, whatever, blah 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 blah, and then they sink into a
last one. Okay. San Diego Toreros.
13 wins.
6-27.
Wow.
Now that was a game that ASU won 90-53.
I guess that's your reminder that it could always be worse.
You could be the San Diego Toreros.
Yeah, there you go. Look, without further ado, let's get to By the Numbers, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Of course, I guess the general theme of this story is the only number that matters is that final score. Texas Tech out-dueling Arizona State by 28 points, 85-57. The leading scorers on both sides. Bashir Jihad, 22 points tonight. JT Toppin going for another double-double, doing it. 25 points, 11 boards, and 3 blocks. From the floor tonight, just 37% for the Sun Devils to 45% for Tech. Three-point land was ugly for Arizona State, 13% to a 15 tonight. 12 of 33 for Texas Tech, 36%. And then the assist numbers, 16-6 in favor of the Red Raiders.
Do some quick math for me. How many points did ASU lose by?
28.
How many more points did Texas Tech score from behind the three-point line?
From behind the three-point line, 30. There you go. There's your story of the game.
Quick maths.
Very quick maths. So is that what sticks out from tonight?
It has to. There's another number. ASU was 1-12 with their last field goals.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and that's just the theme. That's been them. It's at the end of games, and then to be fair, you clear out your bench, but 1-12 in field goals to end the game is just terrible.
I mean, you could pick a number of numbers. This team had 2 fast break points.
Terrible.
They had
0 second chance points.
0 second chance points.
5 offensive rebounds.
And 0 bench points. I don't know how many times you're going to be competitive in a game when you have 0 bench points and 0 second chance points.
Total fast break, bench, and second chance points today.
2.
Dose.
Unbelievable. That's how bad it was.
They scored under 1 point per possession.
I mean, geez. What'd Tech have? Tech in the paint. Bench points, 32. 32 bench points for Tech. That was also the difference maker there.
Yeah, 13 second chance points.
Yeah.
And 11 fast break points.
And they did it with only, 4 more offensive rebounds?
Yeah, and Tech was averaging 1.4 points per possession, so half a point more per possession.
And I mean, it's just really, really, really gross.
But it's what you expect. I mean, Texas Tech.
I knew I wasn't crazy, Corey. Corey says, I realized I didn't miss anything. How do you expect people to go to the games when can't give the correct start time of the game? This game was originally scheduled for 5 o'clock.
I don't know what you're talking about. I knew it was at 6.
But when did you check last?
A week ago?
No, dude. This game was originally scheduled for 5 o'clock.
Do you want me to do a little investigation?
Yes, please. Because I came into this office at 5 o'clock because I thought that this game started at 5 o'clock. And I've been racking my brain for the last 3 hours thinking, am I really that stupid?
I am going to look through they tweeted out tonight at 6 p.m. So shame on you for not checking that. I don't know when they would have tweeted a whole nother. I can look at the full schedule. That'd be way early in the season. I don't know where you saw 5.
I on the actual ASU schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could be crazy. Let me know in the chat if there is somebody else that had this same thing happen to you. Maybe it's Mandela effect here. Maybe it's just I'm losing my mind.
You're just praying for the game to be over.
I was just wanting the game to be over an hour earlier. I don't know what it is, but hopefully we can get the answer to that question and so many more on the other side of this first break.
It is March, of course, March Madness, and you can catch all of it over at the BetMGM Sportsbooks at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They have reserved seating at Wild Horse Pass and Santan Mountain. Enjoy the excitement with open seating at Lone Butte and Vequiva. Bet on the madness and experience the thrill. But if you also want to come hang out with me tomorrow afternoon, do it. We have a Suns watch party.
Do it.
Suns are taking on the ASU-influenced Dallas Mavericks.
Wow.
Who have 6 or 7 active players.
Who wins, the Mavs or Arizona State?
I am, definitely Arizona State. Sannon's going crazy. I'm predicting that the Suns will hit rock bottom tomorrow.
Wow.
So come hit rock bottom with me at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass for our watch party that we have going on. Our pregame show is at noon. The game starts at 12:30. Come a couple minutes before the pregame show. Say what's up or show up around tip-off. We'll hang out and watch the game together. Of course, it's gophnx.com/events. RSVP for absolutely free. Show up and you do you. At Gila River Resorts and Casinos, visit playatgila.com for more details.
What time does that start again?
12:30.
12:30. That's actually pretty perfect. I feel like I can catch the end of the Suns game after I head out over to Phoenix Raceway. Guys, NASCAR officially back in the valley over at Phoenix Raceway this weekend. Hopefully, you guys listening on audio or in the chat, you've already been out there, you've already experienced all the fun, and you're headed back tomorrow for everything that they have to offer, including the Shriners Children's 500. Race starts, I believe, over at 12:30, but that doesn't mean that you can't get there early. I'll tell you, I just looked at the schedule, the fan guide of everything that they have going on. Denny Hamlin, he's signing autographs. You got a Q&A with Justin Hanley. You got so much to do over at Phoenix Raceway on Sunday. Go check it out. Still time to go get your tickets. Make sure you get them now at phoenixraceway.com. Again, make sure you get your tickets over at phoenixraceway.com.
I don't know what you're seeing. William says, you saw the overall TV schedule that was based on Eastern Standard Time that said 8 p.m. Yeah, they posted
it was
the correct
5 o'clock.
time.
It was 5 o'clock. I will live the rest of my life thinking that it was at 5 o'clock. And you will not be able to change my mind.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
It didn't happen at 5, but just know that that's what
You were ready.
Dude, I was locked and loaded. I was boom. And I was like, where is Kyle? I was like, Kyle's normally sitting in his chair, knee deep in his 4th cup of coffee, like ready to rock, right?
Yeah, I looked and saw it started at 6.
There's nowhere to be found.
But I looked today. I looked this morning. So.
Let me look. I'm going to look at the schedule that I send every few weeks.
Again, maybe this is just a youth thing.
It could be.
We don't need to dive too deep.
I need to.
Can we
I need to dive.
Okay, can you
No,
dive?
6 p.m., yeah. Yeah, 6 p.m. I was wrong.
Seasons broke you, pal. Should we talk about
Understandable.
basketball?
Oh man, I really just this. I'm ready for
One more game,
this.
maybe, unless they win.
Woo! Kaden in the chat. These guys are tired, and it really showed the second half.
Could also be talking about us.
Yeah, that's what I thought initially.
I am sleepy.
Yeah, the second half of this game just again. I don't know if it was so much as tired as it was like, yes, obviously there are points of the game when you have such a limited rotation that you're going to be a little bit gassed.
Yeah.
But like this just comes down to the fact, I think, that when you look at games like this that keep occurring, it goes back to the roster construction. And I know this team has dealt with injuries. I know that Jaden Quaintance has missed time. I know that Joe Sansanin has missed time. I know that Adam Miller, BJ Freeman, Austin Nunez, Brandon Gardner, like I get that all these guys went down, but part of being a good college basketball team is having good players available. And Arizona State, for most of the season, it felt like has just not ever had enough good players available to compete for 2 full halves. Again, they put on some really fun halves.
Yeah.
First halves, second halves. Second halves not so
that
often.
Baylor game?
I mean, again, that was earlier in the year, but they do it and you have some sort of like, we can go back and be like, okay, like they played well here. Mm-hmm. There were moments. Joe Sansanin was going for 20 a night. Jaden Quaintance started to develop an offensive bag. Sean Phillips is starting to come to life. Adam Miller maybe had a game. Like Austin Mason goes for 30. And then you go back to the end of those games and you're like, oh wait, they still lost all of these games, right? Like that's not how this should, in theory, go if you have a deep roster full of talent and you are a well-coached basketball team.
Well, they weren't. You're right. That's not how it should have gone. And Starter in the chat says Texas Tech has a very real chance to win the national title this year. No shame in losing them.
They do.
I'm not ashamed for Arizona State losing this game. I think the frustration, the therapy session just comes from the buildup, right? Like, oh, we're going through this again. We're doing this again. And not that I expected them to win today. I know.
No, but they always get you like right here when they like have a half
competing.
like that. When they have a half like that and you're like, oh. Could this be the what? No. And then the second half.
Well, because they also took this team to double overtime.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, do they have Texas Tech's number?
You said that. You literally said those words. Yeah. They did not.
I was dead
They
serious.
did not. You want to know what the number was tonight? 28. That's how many points they lost to tonight. 28 points. Arizona State had how many points in the first half?
40?
No, they didn't have that many. They had like 30 something.
No, yeah, it was like 36, 32.
So they like the
32.
deficit. They had 32.
32 first
The
half.
deficit was almost as much as they lost by tonight.
Yeah. You mean how much they
Yeah, there
scored
you
was
go.
almost so much.
There you go.
We
words,
really are
words
tired,
are hard.
huh?
It's Saturday. We watched Arizona State basketball.
You need to lift your chair up.
I do. I feel like I keep shrinking.
Yeah,
I keep shrinking. And it's not purposeful.
I keep looking over. I'm like, why does he keep going down? And then like I look at the screen, and your like head is peeking up over the table.
Hey Eric, yeah, it was bad. It was a bad game tonight.
Man, that was a really bad one, huh?
Yeah. What'd you see up there? Hit that like button.
Can you tell me who had bottle service?
Hit the subscribe
I can't see
button.
the graphic.
Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Let's kick it over. Bottle service tonight is the one, the only Jihad Bashir.
There you
He
go.
is getting it tonight. 22 points. 8 of 10 from the charity stripe. Congratulations.
Do we need to reveal why we're tracking free throws, or are we saving that?
Oh, I didn't think of that. I haven't thought of that. What do you think? What are you feeling?
I mean, I think it'd be fun to tell people.
Okay, go ahead. Let them know.
I don't know who came up with the idea.
6 boards, by the way, for Bashir Jihad.
By the way. Let's talk about Bashir. Then we'll do it. All right.
Yeah,
That's what we call a tease in the industry.
Not a bad night. Not a bad night for Bashir. He was very efficient tonight. Again, not just 8 of 10 from the charity stripe, but overall, Bashir Jihad was 7-11 from the floor. Threw in an assist in there as well. Like he played 35 minutes a game, third most on the team. Like I feel like you can't ask for much more for a guy that normally wouldn't be treated as a big man. But because of the lack of depth on this team, there are times when Sean Phillips needs a break, and Bashir immediately has to be the 5, and he's just taking on the opposing big. Like people haven't talked about what that has done for Bashir Jihad probably over the last 2 weeks of the season, right? Like he has been dealing defensively with the opposing team's biggest dude. Mind you, Bashir's what, 6'8", 6'9", right? I think he's about that range. He's going up against dudes that are 6'11", 7 feet tall, and it's
not fair. It's the same thing with
gassing
Alston.
him out, and he's still going for 22.
Same thing with Alston, right? Just not a fair position. None of these players are being put in a fair position. And shout out to Bashir finding the willpower to be able to step up and hit some pretty tough shots and be relatively consistent tonight and shoot a good percentage from the field. Despite Tech being a very good team. Starter also asked, do you guys think Tech passes the eye test for a team that can win a championship?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think so because of how together they play and their ball movement on everything as well. But also, when you play Arizona State, you look good.
Yeah.
So, give and take.
I mean, yes.
It's college basketball, so most teams, like not most teams, but a lot of teams are able to win a championship if they get hot. And I think they could get hot.
I think, again, Tech... I know people look good against Arizona State, but Tech is going to be the number 2 seed in this Big 12 tournament. They're going to be, I think, a 3 or 4 seed, maybe higher in the actual NCAA tournament. And they've got one of the most dominant individual players, I think, in this conference in JT Toppin. Again, I said off the top of the show that this kid is probably going to win Big 12 Player of the Year. He deserves it. This team, I mentioned it to you, feels like the Arizona State, like they're on the college basketball run of what Arizona State did in college football, right? Nobody really expected Texas Tech to compete.
What were they in the preseason?
Go check. But nobody really expected Texas Tech to do this season. Maybe a middle of the pack team. And JT Toppin, again, I've already sang his praises tonight with 25 points. But Chris Anderson, he threw in 21 points. He was 50% from the floor, 50% from 3, 7 of 7 from the charity stripe. They won by nearly 30 points tonight. And one of their best players, Elijah Hawkins, only had 6 points. He had an off night tonight. Like, that's a scary, scary thing in this conference. And when you get to the NCAA tournament, like, again, I hate to just use this term, but dudes or dogs, like, in the NCAA tournament, they matter.
You have one guy.
And you have JT Toppin, who, again, we've seen is capable of going for 40 points any given night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a problem in the first, second, third round, any round of the NCAA tournament.
You see it with bad teams, right? On bad teams, lower level teams, like the Oaklands of last year. You got that Geico kid or whatever his name was, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always mispronounce his
There's
last
always
name.
some random 3-point school.
And then Trey Townsend, right? Like for Oakland. I'm being serious. Who you have some really good individual players. The team plays well enough around them. They can make a deep run. But it's the same thing about top end talent. Tech was picked 7th in the Big 12.
So not to
finish.
Okay, not
behind
to finish
Cincinnati, Arizona, Baylor, Iowa State, Houston, Kansas.
Okay, but putting that in context
in this conference,
when it comes to college basketball, is a little different. Like I understand again, Arizona State. I don't want to diminish what Arizona State did football wise, but I still feel like
I think more impressive. But this is
I agree. It's more impressive, but this is still wildly impressive.
Like this would be like Utah was picked last. It'd be like if Utah won the Big 12 in basketball. Would be like Arizona State.
Yes. Yeah. Or Colorado, I guess at this point. I know.
Yeah, it was Utah, Colorado, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Arizona State was 12th.
Well, they underperformed. Imagine being picked to finish 12 out of 16 and you underperform.
We'll be right back after this break. I just had to.
Yeah, I know.
The same way that the best way to decompress from this season is with our friends over at Pure Edibles. Founded in Arizona and available in 130 dispensaries statewide, Pure Gummies are not covered in sugar like all their other competitors. Get out of here with that nonsense. They're a full-fledged candy company.
Nonsense.
I'm talking gummies, Kicks, which is their version of Starburst, Chews, soft candies, and then hard candies as well for the grandparents trying to catch a little buzz. And the best part is, Pure has the effects clearly listed on each tin, so if Grandpop wants to unwind, wants to be uplifted, wants to sleep, all you gotta do is boop,
play
pop
some
one
card
in.
Games.
Yeah, have a unique cannabinoid such as CBN, CBG, CBD, and of course marijuana-derived THC, and they are designed to be ripped or bit in half, making them easily shareable between grandma and grandma. And easy to dial in your exact dose. It's super easy. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across State 48.
The one thing I really love about our PHNX partners that we have here is that you can get brands and sponsors and stuff that are going to help you get maybe some smaller purchases like our friends over at Pure Edibles, or you could go as big as they come and you could go with our friends over at the Carol Royce team. They're going to hook you up and help you find a home. Okay, look, the real estate market super competitive right now, but like a great coach, the Carol Royce team is going to build you a game plan to get you into the perfect home for you. Goes a long way, right? Carol Royce and her team, they've been doing this now for a long time. Over 12,000 homes.
It's a lot of homes.
I mean, can you believe that? How long do you think it'd take you to count to 12,000?
6 weeks.
A long time.
Yeah.
Look,
once I get double digits, it's tricky.
Carol's so confident you're going to love your home that if within 18 months you aren't happy with it, the Carol Royce team will buy it back. If you're ready to find your dream home, take the next step. Call Carol Royce or visit Carol online at carolroyceteam.com. That's carolroyceteam.com. Terms and conditions apply. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Connor Smith in the chat saying the one question is why can ASU and the Suns both win on the same day?
It's my fault.
It is your fault.
I mean, literally, the Suns post game that I was off and I was on ASU, the Suns had the largest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history. Franchise history. The one post game that I was off.
It's your fault.
It is. Hand up.
You'll be here Tuesday?
That's on me.
You'll be here Tuesday. You will be?
I will. You know what else we're doing on Tuesday?
Go ahead. Tell the people.
Tell the people.
Tell the people.
Who came up with the idea? It wasn't me.
It was I. I came up with the idea. Yeah.
You were like, what's the dude from Saw?
I haven't seen that movie.
The clown? What's the clown's name from Saw?
I haven't seen it either.
Are you really going to look this up right now?
Clown from Saw.
Corey Oldham in the chat. Whatever happened to that transfer from UFC? Yeah, Brandon Gardner. Billy the clown?
Billy the puppet. It was used by John Jigsaw.
There you go. He just didn't play. I don't know if he was dealing with injuries or suspensions or what he was dealing with, but obviously he didn't play much this season. I think he actually got into maybe 1 or 2 games all year.
So you're like Jigsaw.
Okay.
You came up with the 24-hour stream.
I did.
Which we'll be doing for the first day of March Madness in case you missed that announcement.
24 hours.
Straight. Yeah. I think I'm going to try to do the no caffeine challenge.
You have fun with that one.
I wonder how long Captain could.
We're gonna be. Trust me, guys.
You don't want to find out.
At this point, at some time this week, the 3 of us are sitting down, and we are hammering out a
concrete
schedule of what we're doing, of counters that we need to have, maybe a coffee counter for Captain Redbeard, like all sorts of fun stuff. So,
it's getting close. 12 days. 12 days away.
At some point before then, we are gonna be headed to a basketball court.
Yes.
And we're gonna test our luck at the Charity Stride. Arizona State this season has taken what 630 something free throws maybe at this point on the year, which means the three of us are going to each take, if it is 630, we're going to take 210 each or split whatever evenly between the three of us. And we're going to see if overall taking as many free throws as Arizona State took this season, if we can have a better free throw percentage.
Which is about 73%.
How do we feel?
I plead the fifth.
Put it in the chat. Let's put it as
I feel great. I think we're going to beat it.
I feel fine. I feel fine about it.
You guys seriously think we're going to beat it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could shoot good free throws.
Yeah. And again,
I asked you if you shot 10 free throws earlier today, what would you hit? You said 5.
You're right.
If you go 5 for 10 on all your free throws, Captain and I are going to shoot 90% from the line to have a chance.
I got faith in our team. I have faith in the team that we have.
I'll be honest with you. I think we're going to embarrass ourselves.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I'm excited.
I think you're selling like a short, and you're forgetting. Like, I feel like we're going to be able to get into a rhythm.
Sure.
Which
200 something each, William. We're going to do the total. the total that ASU shot this season divided by 3 for us,
and it's going to be a video.
It's going to be a video.
We're not
just going to go and tell you what happened.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot a video.
That would be wild.
We're going to shoot a video. And
hey, guys, guess what we did the other day and didn't film at all?
You won't believe this. We shot 97% from the line. The same way. Listen, I think that we're going to hit a rhythm, but I think we're going to get some fatigue. I think we're going to hit a little fatigue.
I think, again, like,
as somebody who has gone to countless empty gyms to just shoot, and obviously, I'm taking step back threes. I'm feeling like I'm Steph. I guess the benefit is you're not going to be rebounding for yourself.
You're not going to be rebounding
a big
yourself.
Energy saver.
Also, like, again, Captain Redbeard and I, and you, we work out a good chunk. I don't think we're going to get sore from shooting free throws.
But you guys don't play basketball. Like, I feel like a lot of pressure's on me. Because, like, I play
you're
good
putting
amount
the
of
pressure
basketball.
on you.
I mean, that's where I thrive, brother. That's where I thrive.
Yeah, I mean, Cook, go 100 for 100.
Could you imagine if I just didn't miss?
I mean, then we're going to talk about why Bobby didn't give you the call.
Oh, should we go underhand?
No. Why? Why would we?
That's a bad idea.
I'll definitely shoot some underhand.
Why?
If we're like,
trying to beat their.
If we're at like 60% with like 40 free throws each left, I'm starting to shoot underhand.
I mean,
going Rick Barry.
Just giving up. He's just giving up, Captain Redbeard.
Underhand.
What's your mentality going into this?
I'm just gonna make a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, once I show up, I'm not gonna speak. I'm just gonna be
locked in, headphones. Maybe a curtain of distraction will show up at some point.
That would be funny if we.
That would be really, really good. That'd be really good. We'll see what we could do.
So keep your eye out for that. We're recording that next Tuesday. Who knows when it'll be up and out, but
hopefully by the time the 24-hour stream is.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll be doing a post game that night, afternoon, day thing. For ASU, whoever they play in the first round, in Kansas State.
I think Kansas State, too. It's pegged to be right now.
So we will be doing a post-game that. So we'll give you guys a general idea of how we did then.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. 24-hour stream. Like, if you haven't heard, we're doing that, first day of the NCAA tournament.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
March 20th.
9 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Dude, it's so funny because I remember I told Megan about it, and she's like, you are endangering your health.
I don't think that.
No, but it's. I don't sleep anyway. Like, I've slept like maybe 4 hours.
Yeah, I think that's why your eye is just like.
I've slept like 4 hours the last 4 days, like combined. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
but here I am.
Here you are.
Putting on for the people.
You're such a brave boy.
I mean, that's what the streets are saying.
Yeah,
I'm a
the
brave
streets
boy.
are saying that you're a brave boy. Captain Redbeard, have the streets been telling you that Ruby's a brave boy?
I can neither confirm or deny, but they do respect your lack of sleep.
New nickname has dropped, by the way.
Good.
Brave boy.
Brave boy.
Brave boy.
What was yours? What are we calling you? You gave yourself a nickname or something.
I don't know. I don't know either. People,
Remember when we were talking about a basketball game?
I do, and we've done a phenomenal job really avoiding talking about the basketball game.
We earned this, okay?
85-57 for your Arizona State side. No, look, I do want to get to aftertaste. Again, we got 34 of y'all in the chat. We do appreciate everybody taking time out of their day to just vent about ASU hoops. And for this segment, I'd love to know what this game tasted like for everybody. So, Rubus, I'm going to start with you.
Crap. You always start with me when I don't have one.
Captain Redbeard, do you have something?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with Captain Redbeard.
I'm still not going to have one, but yeah.
What was gently tossed into your face cave?
Gently caressed into your face cave.
Whoa.
What was gently tossed in my face cave? I'm gonna cut to the chase here.
Okay.
Not spare any words. What was gently tossed in my face cave?
It seems like you're sparing a couple words, Captain.
Is some cow manure.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! We
gently tossed.
We got graphic.
Wow!
Gently tossed, huh?
Just, yeah.
Like
so it's a gross thing, but it was gentle.
It was gross, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Gross yet gentle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cow poo. I didn't think that's where we were going, but I'll take it.
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was real bad.
I have to ask, do you know what that tastes like?
No.
No.
He had to think about
there
it,
was a hesitation.
He had to think about it.
Had to double check. Okay.
It tasted like the season.
The season. Yeah, just poo. I'll go with that one. With another one. I love the audibles here. What was dunked down your tonsil cavern?
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Really expired potato chips.
Really expired
You're
potato
just ready
chips.
for it to be over. You take a bite and you're like, this is old, it's done. I'm finished with it.
Okay.
I don't know. That was my worst one of the season.
It might have been. And this might have been one of their worst ones of the season.
Yeah.
What was dunked into
your tonsil
cavern?
Yeah.
This one tasted like when you're a kid and you are forced to eat vegetables. Right? Like you don't want to eat the vegetables.
What was your least favorite vegetable as a kid? I hated onions.
Is an onion a vegetable? Yeah, I guess it is, right?
Come on, dude.
I'm sorry. I haven't really.
Come on,
No, I just haven't thought about it.
Is an onion a vegetable?
I guess so, but
what else would it be?
I immediately think vegetable. I think broccally, carrots, asparagus.
Yeah.
You know,
and onions.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It is a vegetable.
Yes, I am right.
Yeah, there you go, man. Congratulations,
dude. You know what an onion is?
The vegetable.
Oh, Professor Onion over here.
Yeah, my least favorite vegetable as a kid. That's a good question.
You know what's funny is our viewership has gone up the less we talked about this game.
I didn't really like green. What are they? Green
beans?
Yeah,
peas?
Green beans, and peas. Yeah.
Yeah, peas were super mid.
Peas were weird.
Peas are really mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a pea?
Since I was a kid.
Ooh,
yeah.
Probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain, I feel like you've been in a situation where like I just got to eat this can of peas.
You kind of look like the dude on the can.
The Jolly Green Giant?
Jolly Green Giant.
You think Captain? No, he does not.
Let me look.
No, he has
I don't know anything about
red
this.
beard. The Jolly Green Giant is the opposite of
no,
red.
But that looks like if that dude was not green.
Stop.
I'm sending a picture of the Jolly Green Giant. I'm looking at the Jolly Green Giant. If he wasn't green, then maybe that could be him.
Stop. That's
You're
actually
looking
disrespectful.
at like a figurine, dude.
That's actually disrespectful.
Look at this. How's that disrespectful? The dude's 55 feet tall and jacked. How is it disrespectful? Do you feel disrespected?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Look up the Jolly Green
Giant is?
Disrespected.
Hold up, Captain. I'm going to send a picture in Sun Devil Assignments, and you can put it up on a background, and people can
You
judge.
cannot tell me that this is a disrespectful thing to say.
I mean, I can, and I just did.
How? What do you feel? Tell me how you feel,
It's
Captain.
a big green man.
It is a big green man. He's very strong.
Yeah, I mean, I've been called worse.
Yeah. I've been called worse. Peas and green beans, my least favorite by far.
And that's what
this tasted like. Yeah, it tasted like you were forced to eat your vegetables as a kid, and you didn't want to. That's just to be frank with it. It was
now we have to pull up a picture, and we have to show Captain on screen, and then we have.
You're
to show
making
the
this
picture.
into a bigger deal than it is.
What, you want to talk about JT Toppin again?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So let me make this a big deal. Okay.
Or is he more Popeye?
I like Popeye.
You like Popeye more? Do you like spinach?
Yeah.
Yeah, spinach is fire. Spinach is a very disrespected,
underrated.
What's the
vegetable.
most that should be a draft.
How about we just do that at like 3 in the morning in 12 days?
The most disrespected.
You want to have that conversation?
Vegetables.
3 in the morning, 12 days. Write it down. 3 a.m.
Dude.
3 a.m.
12 days from now, we'll be 12 hours in. Exactly.
Oh my God, and we'll have another 12 hours.
Okay, let's take a look. You guys tell me if you see the resemblance between these two. Somebody hit the dislike button. That's rude. Who comes on here and hits the dislike button, dude? Come on, man. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously.
I mean, that dude's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, thank you. He's kind of dripped out.
He's kind of dripped out. Kyle, you got to be the Jolly Green Giant for Halloween.
Look at those.
Whoever hit the dislike button, take it back.
You're just gonna sit here until you take it back? I mean, come on.
We're gonna stay live until you take that dislike. No, I'm just kidding. We're actually going to.
Yeah, we're gonna take our final break. Yeah. Look, guys, you're probably sitting there at home telling yourself, well, Eric Ruby, looking handsome as hell tonight. And you'd be right. But the only reason why is because he's got this lovely branded Bills cap just plopped down right on his noggin. And he's got like 15 more at his house.
Dude, I'm moving this month, and so I packed up all my hats.
There's a lot.
It's actually ridiculous.
Well, look, let me ask you, why do you have these hats? Why do you have so many?
So you're going to make me do the ad read for you?
No,
That's
I'm just
fine.
going to ask you a question that you can answer.
They feel good. They look good. They're great quality. They hold up, and they have a bunch of my favorite teams that they partner with. I mean, it's really easy.
Do you need to hear anything else? Well, how about this? How about if you need some customizable hats, right? Maybe you have a business. Maybe you got a local sports team. Maybe you're part of an intramural team, and you'd like to maybe shell out some cash for some hats. Well, Branded Bills, they've got you covered. They're going to create the exact custom apparel you need. Make sure that you head to brandedbills.com and use that code PHNX for 20% off your first order.
You want to do this ad read for me?
I didn't make you do the ad read.
Okay, well, we got a new friend, ladies and gentlemen. I love new friends over at Timeline, and they are selling health and longevity supplements featuring proprietary MitoPure ingredients. MitoPure works with the cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline. I'm getting old. And the benefits include increased strength, energy, and endurance, all things that I lack, but I'm going to need on Tuesday, which means I'm going to have to take my Timeline supplements. They've done 15 plus years of research and secured 30 plus US patents for their products, and you absolutely need to check them out. If you're just feeling like life is wearing you down, maybe you're getting a little bit older, but the cells in our bodies, they're the building blocks of life, and they're a supplement that works with those cells to give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and preserve health and mobility as you start to age. Their patented ingredient, like I mentioned, is MitoPure, a postbiotic nutrient that clears our dysfunctional mitochondria, aka your cells' battery packs. And right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/PHNX. Get started. That's timeline.com/PHNX and use code PHNX.
You killed that, man.
Thanks, dude.
Captain, how you doing back there, man?
Good, man.
I feel like we don't check up enough on you.
I'm chilling, you know.
You feel good?
What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on tonight's game?
I said cow manure.
Yeah.
That about sums it up.
He said it was.
I had optimism with this team.
You know,
I thought they would finish strong.
And how many seasons of Bobby Ball have you followed?
One. And
there we go. That's the answer.
Yeah, this has been a real awakening towards my Bobby Ball experience.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got some sound here from Bobby Hurley that we're going to get to here in just a little bit. Some interesting comments post game on really his future at Arizona State.
Bobby with interesting comments post game.
We'll 100%
color me surprised.
Get into all of that fun stuff, and before we do that, before we do the Bobby board and closing time, I do want to talk a little bit about the ASU women's basketball program. Obviously a really rough 3 seasons for ASU women's hoop. This is a program that for a very long time under Charlie Turner-Thorne has been a pretty dominant team in the Pac-12, a team that was accustomed to going to the NCAA tournament. Natasha Adair came to town. This team went 29 of 62 in her 3 seasons. I don't know if you've seen it, Eric. Do you know how many games in conference Natasha Adair won through 3 years at Arizona State?
10.
7. 7 games.
That's in the Pac-12.
7 conference games in 3 full years at a major program.
Listen, it was time to move on. I wish Natasha Adair nothing but the best. I don't think that the program's downfall was purely on her.
No, not entirely.
I think that there are a lot of things that Arizona State needs to figure out in order to facilitate having good basketball programs.
Yeah.
But specifically on the women's side, they are farther behind the men's side when it comes to funding, NIL, everything of that nature. And again, not all Natasha Adair's fault. Whoever comes in next is going to have to find a way to work with what feels like some depleted resources. But at the same time, I don't think that she was doing a lot to help. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, when you talk about some of the greats that have ever coached in sports. I know that most people aren't going to go to Charlie Turner Thorne, but she's up there. Like, she is one of the best basketball coaches that has ever lived. And it's hard to follow that up. But
and they didn't. That's the point here, right? Is they didn't in this program really took a nosedive. This program is just not in a really good place right now. And that's from the outside looking in, from certain conversations I've had. It's time for Arizona State women's basketball and maybe Arizona State men's basketball.
Look in the mirror.
To really look toward the future. And I think, there are two names that immediately have jumped out to me that I think would make great hires for Arizona State. I think Brianne January would be a home run.
Agreed.
Absolute home run hire for Arizona State. And if you can't, then Molly Miller right up the street at GCU.
I mean, that's going to be a tough get though. It's funny because
Arizona State could pay her more.
I think both GCU coaches would be good for either program.
Yeah,
Bryce Drew or Molly, and I mean that would be I think either of those would be
phenomenal
home runs. You have to find a way to get this on a better track, because I said this in our Discord, but if you're going to pick a conference to F around in, it's not the Big 12.
No, not in basketball.
Certainly not in basketball on either side. So there's not a lot of like if I know you're going to probably need some rebuilding years if you bring in a new coach, and I get it, but you need to have a clear identity and a direction as a program.
And I hear you, but today's college era now,
you can flip it.
You can flip it in a year or two.
No, and that's what I'm saying is like they need to get a little bit of time to get on it, but if you become consistently bottom of the Big 12, you're not going to survive. It's going to be really hard to pull yourself up from that.
It really is. Financially, to get players,
to get people in the building,
to retain coaches, to like do any of those things. And I guess if you're bottom of the Big 12, nobody's like eyeing your coach, trying to steal him if you're that bad. But I don't know, man. It's both basketball programs, I think, need a little bit of a shakeup again. We'll get to some Bobby Hurley sound here in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Getting back to ASU men's basketball, if we could take a look at the Bobby board, if that is at all possible. And this is...
Do we have to?
This is by far the worst Bobby board that we have had in the entirety of the Bobby board's existence.
You see it? There's Connect 4.
Is there?
Cal Poly, left diagonal Colorado, left diagonal Colorado, left diagonal Kansas State. There's also Connect 4 up top. GCU, St. Thomas, Cal Poly. Wow, man, they won 6 games in a row.
But look against who, like...
No, but
look at the opponents.
GCU's a good team. St. Thomas ended up being a good team. Cal Poly sucks. The Lobos are a good team. St. Mary's is a good team. San Diego sucks.
We say they're good teams, but who have they beat?
You're going to make me go through their
I'm not going to make you go through the thing, but I'm just saying, like, realistically, that's a part of the conversation.
I get what you're saying. Like, I get what you're saying, but they have good records.
Good records.
Like, New Mexico's good. Yeah. New Mexico is a good team.
They're a tournament team.
Yes. I think GCU's a tournament team.
I think GCU is probably a tournament team, too.
Which is embarrassing.
But again, like, look at this team's play in conference play.
Yeah.
Right? You start at New Year's Eve, BYU, you get blown out of the water, you go beat a bad Colorado team, Kansas lost, Baylor lost, UCF lost. Those 3 games right there, we can go point to and say, hey, you had a good first half. You had a good first half. You had a good first half. And then what? You fell flat in the second half each and every time in those games. And then from there, it was all downhill. It spiraled until you got back to Colorado, right? Or until you had the West Virginia game, and then Colorado, and then Kansas State. And then that was that. Like, and here we are, losers of 4 straight, losers of 9 of your last 10, losers of 16 of your last 20.
Not good.
Bad. Very bad, Eric.
So
it's very bad.
So what's next?
I don't know. Let's hear from Bobby Hurley on his future.
I'm here, getting ready for the Big 12 tournament, and, all those decisions are really out of my hands. I would just say that I would prefer to not discuss really any conversations that we have right now.
That was in response to his conversations with Athletic Director Graham Rossini, courtesy, obviously, all that stuff from Blake Neiman. So we appreciate Blake on all of that. But again, I feel like he can only really answer that question that way, saying, I'm focused on the tourney. Well, given some of the things he said in the past.
I was going to say, darkness comes when the night is late.
Just start, Don't go gentle into that good night. Like, I don't know. I know we ask this question every time.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
GG's.
It's over.
We run it. We go. We go again. Different coach.
I don't think you can speak how he's been speaking in some of these post games, and get the results that you're getting and come back. Personally, I can't see that. And if they do, I'm going to need a damn good reason as to why.
What would be the reason?
I'm going to need to hear how it's not Bobby's fault at all. Which I'm not going to believe. I'm going to need to hear something.
You're going to need some magical miracle to tell you that this wasn't Bobby's fault.
It is. If he's back next year, and again, I like Bobby Hurley.
Doesn't sound like it.
I like his passion.
Mm-hmm.
His players like him. I'm rooting for Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley has given me the best memories that I've had of Arizona State basketball because obviously I've covered them. I've been in person for them. Guard you, like all of that, man. Like such high highs, such incredible moments. I really wish that I didn't feel this way.
Now. I wish that we together didn't feel this way.
Yes. If he is back next season and it doesn't come with the best damn recruiting class in the country.
No, dude, we just saw the best recruiting class.
I know. But that's bare minimum. Or Bobby Hurley sitting up and saying, I need to completely evaluate who I am and how I coach. And I'm going to come back next year a different coach. But we heard the same crap. He was in Japan this year, and he was talking to Craig Morgan about how being in the Big 12 has given him a renewed sense of focus after getting his ass kicked in his final season in the Pac-12. I remember sitting here with but in Studio A with Shane after the Utah game in the Pac-12 tournament where they just got stomped.
Yeah.
And it was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It felt like you hit the lowest of lows, and then you finally picked yourself back up in the offseason, and you felt good going into this season, and you are right back where you started, but in a worse conference. Arizona State cannot afford to roll the dice on Bobby Hurley another year.
Captain?
I agree. I think this is the end.
Yeah.
This is the end of Bobby Ball. We
Yeah.
we talked about this a lot, but like in any other sport, this would not fly. Like we look at his record, what he's done, like some of it, yes, is impressive, but it's got to be better. The standards are higher now at ASU. You see it across not just football, all athletics. So we need to replace him.
Come sit over here, Captain.
I agree. I think you look at a program, and I love the idea that it wouldn't fly in any sport. You could look at baseball, you could look at basketball, you could look at football, you could look at golf, you could look at swim and dive, you could look at whatever you want. But when it comes down to the postseason, because that's what it's about, right? That's what college sports is about. It's about the magic in the postseason. It's about March Madness. It's about the college football playoff. It's about the NCAA tournament in softball and baseball, etc. It's about those moments. But if you can't even get to the damn thing, then what are we doing all year long? And Bobby Hurley's been to the dance at Arizona State. 3 of 10 opportunities, shooting 30%. If any other team did that and didn't make the postseason, think about football. If football had a coach for a decade and didn't go bowling for 7 of 10 years, the coach would be gone. For baseball or softball, if the coach doesn't make the NCAA tournament in 7 of 10 years, you're gone. And that's the same thing here. You haven't made the tournament a 4th time. And each time that you do go, you play in the first 4 and you lose. Every time. Your best teams. So yeah, it's over. It's done with. Sayonara. See you later. Adios. All the different ways that you could say goodbye. I tip my cap to you. I wish you nothing but the best. But that's it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Literally, guys. It's closing time. Okay? Dim the lights. Play the music. It's presented by the Carol Royce team. Your home sold guaranteed realty, where Carol is going to guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value, or she's going to pay you the difference. Learn more at carolroyceteam.com. Well, all season long, this team has somehow weaseled its way into turning my 3 takeaway segment into just 1, and we're going to do it again. And this is for all of you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy what you got left. You watched Arizona State basketball for a full season, and it probably sent you into a deep depression. Well,
probably.
You're here with us on a therapy session again. And of course, we'll see you on Tuesday. for a post-game show. We'll see you on Monday for a normal show. And, of course, in 12 days, we'll see you for a 24-hour stream.
Oh,
guys,
Lord.
in the meantime, make sure you leave a like. Hit the 5-star review button, please. Can you do that for me on the way out? If you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun. You can follow me at Anthony_Coach. You can follow this guy right here, the brave boy, at Eric Ruby. That is Eric with a K. You can follow that guy over there. That's Captain Redbeard at K Coop Sports. Enjoy the weekend. Go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.